the CEO of Arexigen Therapeutics. Thanks again for joining us. And coming up in the next hour on the call, we move from one area of unmet medical need to another. We're talking Alzheimer's disease and a company that is looking
where it is right now. Come on. And CME Group,
as you get around.
At Jefferies, the price target on CME at Jefferies now is $330. Currently it's trading at $288, Mr. Kane.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today? You probably noticed, let me turn that off so we don't need to hear the sound. You probably noticed that I had CNBC on the television. Many years ago, as a beginning business student, I was told that if I wanted to know about business, I had to subscribe to the Wall Street Journal and listen to that read it every day. Well, you don't need to be bothered with a newspaper unless you want. Okay? But I would strongly suggest as business students that you at least periodically watch either CNBC or MSNBC or any of the other news channels that relate to business, because it'll give you a really good understanding of what's happening currently in the business world. And that's one of the things as business students that we're all interested in. So with that, I hope you enjoyed your first week. I hope you didn't find it too intimidating. We accomplished a fair amount during the first week. We did look at all the administrative things, the syllabus, grading rubrics, what kind of assignments we're going to have, how the format that assignments should be in, what kind of references needed to be listed, those kinds of things. Many of you attended the seminar. I hope to see all of you in the seminar this week. And we introduced ourselves to each other. All important things to do in the first week of any course. And we also delved into the first principles of economics. We looked at scarcity and how there's never enough of any resource that's needed. We looked at opportunity costs, the thing we have to give up or the things we give up to have whatever it is that we've decided we want to have. Okay? The fact that we all face trade-offs. Okay? We looked at marginal analysis, the fact that that's analyzing what happens when we add one more or take one more away. Okay? We looked at the fact that there are gains from trade and specialization. We looked at how markets achieve equilibrium, and we looked at how when sometimes the market does not achieve the proper welfare for the entire population, that the government needs to step in and encourage an action. Okay? It must intervene. And normally it is encouraging people to take an action or not take an action. And so therefore the government will instead institute some kind of an incentive or a disincentive, okay, in order to get people to make the decision they want to make, because we know that people always make decisions that is in their best interests. And then finally, we understand that when the government does get involved and establishes these incentives or disincentives, that sometimes there is unintended consequences, not just from the government's decisions, but from any large organization's decisions, sometimes even from our own. So that's what we covered in Unit 1. Now let's look at Unit 2. This week we're going to look at the production possibility frontier model. Some pretty technical language. Don't worry, by the end of the week you'll be very familiar with it. Okay? It's nothing that's going to scare you. Okay? We're going to look at how production trade-offs occur, and we're going to use a very simple model, just 2 items being produced. Okay? We'll look at what's feasible in production, what's efficient, and what's not feasible. We'll look at how opportunity costs are increasing in some cases. We'll look at what establishes economic growth. And then we'll delve into comparative advantage and the difference between comparative advantage and absolute advantage. These terms, which you'll find out as you do your reading, relate to international trade. And then we'll move into a new model, something you may not have been familiar with before. We call it a circular flow diagram. And what it is a simple model for demonstrating interrelationships. We'll talk just very briefly about model building, and then we'll get into the kind of statements that economists can make, both normative and positive. And with that, basically, we will have covered the material that's in Unit 2. Remember, if you have any questions at all, please get in touch with me. Either call me, send me an email, get a hold of me when I'm on AOL Instant Messaging, come to me during my office hours, or visit my virtual office and leave your questions there. I'm here to help you. That is my sole purpose in being here. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the discussion threads and in the seminar.